It's the year 2043. After a long and devastating global trade war fractured economies and shifted the international landscape, pirates and corsairs once again roamed the seas. With petrol and the chemicals needed to build rechargeable batteries in short supply, people relied on sails to propel boats and makeshift cars built from the remnants of old machines. Among this chaos, three American teenagers, Alex, Jamie, and Diego, explore the seas in search of adventure and loot. After their makeshift boat was destroyed by the hostile pirate nation, they joined the crew of Captain Mujibur from Bangladesh. 3 weeks after arriving in Myanmar, Mujibur's crew, now joined by Diego, Alex, and Jamie, had swiftly carved out a reputation in the region. Contraband flowed through their hands like salt water, and word of their trades spread from local dockyards to foreign embassies. They weren't just pirates now, they were legends in the making. But legends attract ghosts. In the heavy dusk of a coastal alley, Kael struck. He and three henchmen burst from the shadows, uniforms shredded, faces dirtied with soot and salt. Gone was the crisp bravado they once wore. They were storm-tossed remnants, and they wanted blood. "It's you again," Alex said when he recognized Kael as his former interrogator. "Let's see you try to beat me up when my hands aren't tied." "Oh, that's the plan." "I came all the way here for some well-deserved payback," Kael said with a sadistic grin. Before the first blade could sing, a chorus of rifles and whistles silenced the chaos. A swarm of Somali pirates surged in, their weapons steady, expressions unreadable. At their helm stood Captain Ayan Isir, draped in emerald robes, dreadlocks tied in intricate copper rings, and eyes that shimmered like shattered glass. Around her, dozens of Somali and local pirates formed a circle, half audience, half tribunal. "You bring trouble on your first day back here, Kael," Ayan said coolly. "You want these waters to taste of blood before they've tasted your name?" Kael growled. "They destroyed my ship, weeks ago, back in Kwakata. 10 men lost. I barely escaped," Mujibur raised a brow. "The bomb was tripped by your own hand." "You sailed into your fate, Captain," the crowd muttered. Ayan held up a hand. "I hear whispers of Americans," she said, her voice deep as thunder. "So I had them watched." She turned to Kael. "What did I find?" "Diego teaching the village children to build kites. Alex and Jamie fixing the well. They ride with Arjun, India's rising pirate flame, and together they raided a cargo ship bound for Maharajas. That's not betrayal. That's good pirate business." Kael sneered. "You forget our code. When captains clash, they duel." The crowd snapped to attention. "Then you'll duel," Ayan agreed, reluctantly. "But each captain chooses one crew member. No gang wars under my watch." Kael's smirk cracked wider. "I'll fight all three." "No," she said firmly. "You pick one." "Mujibur?" Mujibur gripped his sword, stepping forward. "Jamie, you are up," Alex called out, loud and proud. Jamie sauntered ahead, stiletto gleaming, calm as ever, as Mujibur looked stunned. Kael scoffed. "That sword looks flimsy. Like the boy who holds it." Jamie winked. "It's not the sword you should be worried about." The crowd chuckled. Ayan laid the rules. "Disarm or disable your opponent. The matter dies here. You duel. You honor the outcome," she gave the signal. Kael lunged. Jamie dipped under the swing like a shadow slipping through moonlight. The blades clashed, but Jamie was a dancer, not a fighter. A very dangerous dancer. 12 slashes, evaded, 3 jabs, chest, shoulder, hand. Kael's sword clattered to the floor. Kael dove to recover it. Jamie poked his forehead. Kael froze. "Watch this," Alex told Mujibur with visible excitement as he gave him a gentle pat in the shoulder. Jamie picked up the sword and offered it back, flashing a crooked grin. 2 out of 3, right?" The crowd roared with laughter, tossing wads of cash, coins, even jewelry into betting piles. Kael, boiling, snatched the sword and charged again. Jamie rolled low, sprang back, and dodged everything like the wind slipping past a stone. Rib poke, chin poke, elbow flick. The sword dropped again. Jamie nailed it to the ground with one precise strike. "No?" 3 out of 5? Kael snapped. Wild swings, frantic slashes, rage incarnate. "Get him, Jamie! Don't let your buddy lose his parlay!" shouted Diego from the crowd of betting pirates. Jamie spun, ducked, somersaulted, then jabbed Kael's thigh, then his hand, sending the sword airborne. He backflipped and caught it with his left hand, stiletto still ready in his right. Ayan shouted, "That's enough!" But Kael lunged once more. Jamie sidestepped and slammed the dull edge of Kael's own sword into his temple. Lights out. When Kael woke, the crowd was gone. "You lost," Ayan said. "Mujibur's crew sailed while you slept." "Your men? They abandoned you." Kael blinked. She leaned closer. "Chasing ghosts and vengeance earns no coin. Real pirates? We trade, we profit, we live. You want a crew again? Act like a captain, not a storm." Mujibur's crew sailed quietly off the Burmese coast, their ship now patched, painted, and known in half the harbors between Bengal and the Java Sea. On deck, the sun baked through the mist as Mujibur leaned against the railing beside Jamie. "You ever think about your home?" Mujibur asked, voice low. Jamie nodded. "More than I should." Before he could elaborate, Alex walked by, heard the tone, and joined them. "Let me save you the trouble," he said. "I'll tell you how it all fell apart." Jamie glanced at him, then nodded. Alex exhaled. "It started with a president who understood one thing better than politics: division. He knew how to turn people against each other. He picked villains from groups who were already vulnerable, immigrants, minorities, anyone different, and framed them as the reason everything was broken. Then came the tariffs. Laws to cut off trade, pretending it was to protect the local businesses, but all it did was choke commerce. Products got expensive, shelves emptied, businesses collapsed. Not enough workers, especially with immigrant labor stripped away. So the government created Patriot Hours, volunteer shifts, optional but highly encouraged, where citizens would work farms, unload docks, run dirty factory belts. No money, just food vouchers. They created modern slavery and gave it a catchy, pretty name Diego had quietly joined, arms crossed, brow furrowed. Alex continued. People stopped sleeping. Parents vanished into endless shifts. Kids were alone, growing wild. I was 12 when I realized our country wasn't crumbling. It had already collapsed. They just didn't change the flag. Before anyone could respond, a distant boom broke the moment. Smoke curled on the horizon. A ship, fast, black-plated, was chasing a smaller vessel through the waves. Jamie squinted. "That's Arjun's crew," Mujibur called to arms. "Ready the bows." Diego grinned and scaled the mast like a storm-swept acrobat. At the top, he strapped on a glider made from patched sails and wire, launched off the mast, and glided low toward the enemy vessel. The air snapped around him. As he neared, he tossed 2 makeshift explosives, pressure jars rigged with fire salts. Boom! Crack! The mercenaries scattered, giving Arjun's crew the opening they needed. Alex, Jamie, and Mujibur fired arrows from a high perch, while Isha controlled the boat. Arjun's team countered from their deck with javelins and sling bolts. Diego climbed the enemy mast as the mercenaries made their escape and launched again, but the wind betrayed him. His glider caught a cross-draft, spun, and he crashed hard into the water. Arjun dove in instantly and dragged Diego back to his deck, both drenched but grinning. "For a second there," Arjun laughed, "you had me fooled." "I thought you'd finally become a cool pirate." Diego coughed out seawater. "I am cool. My landings just aren't yet. Working on that?" Arjun's crew regrouped, grateful and loud. "Rescuing the brightest pirate star from India. I'm going to add that to my resume," joked Alex. "And rightfully so, my friend." "We owe you one. The Maharajas set us up," Arjun revealed. "They used the last raid to declare us criminals." "Bounties on all our heads now." Alex leaned on the rail, bow still in hand. "Guess that means we're important." Mujibur nodded, serious now. "Important and hunted." The wind shifted again. The chase had only begun.